Now we are going to switch to the next concept, and I'm gonna delete this. I'm gonna make sure we delete everything. I'm gonna copy this, paste this on the screen. The next concept we're gonna look at here will be 111, and this will be talking about more variable assignments, right? Variable assignments, right? So we're gonna be looking at ways to set variables assignments. So what we've seen earlier was, all right, how can you name a variable, and just having some understanding around that. But there are multiple ways to set the variables, and this is what we're gonna be diving into. The basic way that we saw was, let's just create a variable here. We say first name equals Fru, and we go ahead and print first. Just bear with me here. Go ahead and we print first. It's not finding it because that's not first. First underscore name. All right, very basic. All right, so we can print first name, but I want more variables, right? So what I want to do is to say, let's do middle name equals Louis, last name equals date. All right, so just bear with me now. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna print first name, and I'll put a space. I'll put middle name, I'll put a space, and I'll print a space in there, and then I'm gonna print last name. All right, so let's go ahead and print this. So what they'll take this is they're gonna take Fru Louis day, and you should print that on the screen. So let's go ahead and see that. All right, so this is what gets printed, Fru Louis day. So simply taking the first name, concatenate that with the middle name, concatenate that with the last name. If this is the first time you're hearing about string concatenation, check out my previous video. We were talking about that and going into more depth on string concatenation. Just bear with me here for a second. All right, so first name, middle name, last name. And what we've seen is variables, set anything on the, put anything on the left, equate it, it takes the value here, it replaces that, and now you have your variable. But there are more ways we can set a variable in Python, and I'm going to show you another way that we can do it. So this is one way. All right, another way we can do this is instead of setting it this way, we can, let me just copy this and I'll show you a different way of setting it. We can say first name, instead of just saying first name equals Louis, we can say first name comma middle name comma last name equals all right. So what we've done here is we've said first name, middle name, first name comma middle name comma last name equals Fru comma Louis comma day. All right, so what this does is it takes Fru, it sets it to this, it takes a middle name, it sets it to this, it takes last name and it sets it to this. That's just the same as what we did here. All right, so it's just a convention within Python. It allows you, if you had multiple variables you wanted to set at the same time, you can either do it this way or you can go ahead and do it this way. And if I run this, it's gonna all print the same values on the screen. All right, so this is one way of setting variables. Another way we can do it too in Python is we can say, another way that we can set it is instead of doing this, because this takes by position, right? Whatever you, the first one pairs with the first one, second pairs with second, third pairs with third. All right, so that's one way we can do it. Another way too is we can say first name equals Fru, middle name equals that, and all equals, and that all equals Fru. So what do you expect this one to print? All right, so what this will do is it's going to print for us first name, which is equals that, but first name equals middle name, so that still equals that. So last name and that equals last name, which still equals that. So it's gonna print Fru. All right, so but it's another way of the syntax in Python to set up variable names. All right, so here we're printing first name, last name, first name, middle name, last name, first name, middle name, last name. But in this case, we've set everything equals to Fru, right? It's just like in math, if you say A equals B, it means A and B are the same thing. And then if you say B equals C, it means B and C are the same thing, right? And if you say C equals 10, then it means A and B and C have to be equals 10, because if C equals 10 and C equals B, that means B equals 10, and if B equals 10 and B equals A, it means A equals 10, right? I believe that's the transitivity in math. All right, so that's the concept that applies here. So that's one way you can use to set variables. If you wanted to set many variables to the same thing, you can go ahead and do it this way, right? And this will be equivalent to coming up in this case and saying first name equals Fru, middle name equals Fru, last name equals Fru, right? This is equivalent to doing that. All right, but you can see I do all of this in one pass versus in here you have multiple passes for that to happen. All right, so that's one concept of setting names. Hope this was helpful. We can actually go ahead. This one also set just bear with me here for a second, make sure that we're following along with the correct concept. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and look at the next piece of the lecture here, which would be